to my channel. So if you watched my last video on the hair vendor that wanted to ruin my look, you're probably like, oh my goodness, that's really bad, but yeah, that's not the only vendor. So this is part 2 of vendors that wanted to ruin my wedding. This one, my beef is very personal with them because this dude wanted to kill my parents on my wedding day. It doesn't even matter, like, if it was on my wedding day. He tried to kill my parents, point blank, period. Whether it's on my wedding day, on my baptism day, my whatever day, you don't try to kill my parents. It's crazy. Anyways, let me just get straight to the point. So, we used a car hire service, again, through my planner, to obviously take me from the hotel to church, from church to reception and whatnot. Now, my husband said he was going to use his car because he just got a car last year and he really likes his car, and it's like, I don't want to use a car service for myself. I'm good, I'll use my car. So I'm like, okay, cool. My parents-in-law, they're good too, they're gonna use their car. My parents, however, they are not based in Lagos, so we had to ensure that they're fine, they have a car service to like take them around on the wedding day and whatnot. So we hired 2 cars, a Lexus SUV for myself and Prado SUV, is it Prado? Yeah, Prado Land Cruiser, I don't know. Another SUV basically for my parents. Right, so the night before the wedding or so, day before the wedding, my planner reached out to my husband. I wasn't even aware, to tell him that my car, which is the one I wanted, the Lexus, was not available. And so, why are you telling me that a car I booked is not available? You're telling me that's the day before the event. First of all, that was already a red flag. Like, it cannot not be available the night before the wedding. Like, it's not that night that you knew that car was to be used. So I don't even understand what that means. But yeah, so he was like, okay, fine, we'll pick another car. He picked another SUV. I think that was like a Prado 2017. I'm like, okay, cool. So in the morning of my wedding, my church wedding was scheduled for 12, and I got married in a Catholic church. If you're a Catholic here or you've attended Catholic weddings, you know that 12 is 12. They're not going to wait for you. At least the ones I know here in Lagos, because I think I've been to a Catholic wedding in the East where we had to wait for the couple. But the ones here, they tell you 12 or they tell you 10 or they tell you 2. That time is that time. So you have to be in church before that time. And when we're doing the rehearsals the day before, we're informed, or I was informed, because they kept hitting the nail on the head, that if I came late, I wasn't going to walk down the aisle. They were going to bring me in through some side door, because I'm not going to interrupt mass that would have already started because I was late. So my husband was so time conscious that morning, like so time conscious. By like 10 a.m. he was fully dressed and already taking pictures. Now, you know that we ladies, our own case is always special. I woke up early, and to be honest, most of the prep did go well on time. The only thing was taking the pictures, waiting for my bridesmaids, because they were doing their own makeup in another place with their own makeup artist that was booked for them. And all the logistics and whatnot. Okay, so around 11 a.m. I started asking, where's my dad? Has my dad left, the house? Because my dad was in Lekki. My church was at Ikoyi. So my hotel was in Ikoyi. So the driver was supposed to go to Lekki and pick my dad, right? And then come get my mom, because my mom was in the hotel with me. They were doing her makeup. I had a complimentary makeup, and I wanted that complimentary makeup to be for my mom. So she was already at my hotel earlier, so they can do her makeup. So the guy was supposed to come to Lekki, then come pick my mom, and then take both of them to church. So I kept asking my brother and sister that, oh, what's up, what's up, what's up? Has my dad left the house? Has he left Lekki? Is he almost here? Or is he going straight to church and my mom is going to meet him there? I mean, my mom could always meet him in church, it's fine. The hotel wasn't far from the church, just like 15 minutes drive or even less. So my own concern was, has my dad left the house? And my brother and sister didn't want me to be stressed that morning because a lot of things had already happened, things I don't want to talk about. So I was like a bit stressed already. So I guess she didn't want me to worry. So she was like, yeah, I was like, call my brother, because my brother was with my dad. So I was like, call my brother Jason, call Jason, let me know, if they've left the house, if the driver is already there, let me know what's up. And she was like, I shouldn't worry. She's spoken to Jason. Jason said they're on the way already. I'm like, okay, that's cool. So I think we're taking the pictures and my husband was like rushing us, like, oh, it's time, let's go, let's not be late for church. Let's quickly, get into the cars, let the bridesmaids get to the cars, let's be going and everything. I was like, wait, I haven't seen my dad and I haven't gotten any feedback that my dad is already in church. Because I got the feedback that my father-in-law was already in church, my mother-in-law, but no feedback that my father was in church. Meanwhile, my mom was still at the hotel with me. But it was just so important for me that my dad, gets to church early because he's the one who's supposed to walk me down the aisle. I mean, like, how can I be a daddy's girl and on my wedding day, my dad is not walking me down the aisle because my dad is late? Get what I'm saying? So, like, that would be really messed up. So I kept following up, it's my dad in church already. And Ami was like, then I go downstairs after we've taken the pictures to get into my ride to church. I get downstairs and the car that is there is definitely not a 2017 car. It's not a Lexus and it's also not a 2017 car. So I'm like, is this my ride? And my husband's like, because he doesn't want me to get stressed. So he's like, yeah, they said the Lexus, wasn't available. So I told them to bring a Prado. I look at the Prado. I'm like, okay, there's no time for this now. Let me get to church. On my way to church, I tried to call my brother myself because I was on my phone all the while I was saying it's my dad in church. My brother's son was on my phone. So I told her, give me my phone, let me call my brother, let me know whether they're in church. I called my brother and he's like, we're still trying to get an Uber. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? So you're still in Lekki and this was already 11:45, 11:50. Like, gosh, my brain, it's like I was going crazy. I started shouting, like, how are you still in Lekki? The driver didn't come to pick you guys up. You're like, they've not seen any driver. Like, oh, you didn't tell me, you didn't call me. And I'm looking at my brother and sister, she was in the car with me. And I was like, I don't understand. I thought you told me he's left. I thought you said he was on his way. What's going on? How come there's no driver there? That's when I started to hear that the number of the second driver is switched off. They can't reach him. I'm like, what? So apparently, the guy that even came to my hotel is the guy that was supposed to go to my father's place to pick him. So the driver whose number was switched off was the bride's driver. Imagine, on my wedding morning, your phone is switched off when you're supposed to take me to church. So I don't know the instruction they were given, but one person was supposed to resume at Lekki and the other person at Ikoyi. Both of them went to Ikoyi. One person's number was switched off and the other person's number was working. So the person whose number was on is the person who then took me to church, while the other guy was there at Ikoyi with his phone switched off. And you were paid for a full day service and you just went to park somewhere with your phone switched off and you didn't think that, oh, I don't think I'm in the right place. I think something is wrong. And quite frankly, had it been I was told on time that they had issues reaching the driver, would have booked an Uber. At least the most important thing is let him get to church on time, then we can now figure out where the other driver is. But nobody told me anything until literally 5 to 10 minutes to the time the wedding mass was about to start. I was almost crying because obviously I'm like, my dad is not going to walk me down the aisle. This is madness. Literally, this is my wedding day and my dad is nowhere to be found. And it's 5 minutes to the time I'm going to walk down the aisle. Crazy. Crazy. Anyways, I walked down the aisle myself in a hurry because mass was just starting when I was walking in. Now, I got to church before mass time, but the wedding that happened before my own, they were still just busy blocking the entrance, taking pictures. So my car couldn't just park there for me to come down. He had to go like turn, just for him to turn. Mass started. There was this old woman in church that was literally like saying, mass has started. Let's try to squeeze her in through the side door. Like, I don't want to call no mother bitch, but like, what you talking about? I was in church early. It's not my fault that you guys couldn't coordinate the people that came for the wedding before mine. That's shit. Really. I was already so tense. I was already so pissed. And this is besides the point, but as I was trying to walk like into the church and they were trying to fix my veil, and I was just upset that my dad is not there. Someone stepped on my dress. And obviously, you know, when you're already upset, I'm like, what is wrong with you? You know, like I was thinking it was my kid sister because she was outside with me. So I just like, what is wrong with you? Guess who it was? My landlord. You guys. My landlord. Like where I was staying before I went to my husband's house. He was the one. Then I turn, I'm like, it's like, oh, I'm like, oh, sorry, yeah. He increased the rent after that wedding, by the way. Apologies to my brother because my brother stays there now. But yeah, he increased the rent after that wedding, like some weeks after that. I don't know if it's related to me yelling at him or whatever, but I just thought to drop this. Yeah. So that's how I went into the church. My dad wasn't there, and my husband was just like holding my hands and like, you know, just telling me, whispering that it's okay, because he knew, you know, how terrible I felt about my dad not being there. It was crazy, and obviously because the guy was in there, my mom also got to church late, so mass was already like maybe halfway through before when I turned, I saw my family. When mass started, I turned and my direct family, I mean my siblings, my parents, they weren't there. So it was a bit sad for me, but when I turned again midway into the mass, I saw them. I saw my dad, I saw my mom, I saw my siblings, you know, and it just changed the whole thing for me. But yeah, my dad didn't walk me down the aisle thanks to this useless car hire service company that I still have a beef with. But it's not because of the walking down the aisle thingy that I have a beef with them. No. So by the time service was done, like the mass, I think my planner or my brother assistant, I don't know, one of them were finally able to reach out to the other driver, and turns out that he was there parked at my hotel at Ikoyi, just there with his phone switched off. So they got him to come meet us in church, and he came. So after mass, my parents had a car to take them to the reception, but my own car was there. So I went into my car, and the photographer had said that we should go back to the hotel, that he didn't get enough pictures of me. That the groom, my husband, had enough pictures, but I didn't have enough personal pictures, so he really wanted me to go back to the hotel with my bridesmaids so we can take more pictures. So the whole bridal squad, bride, groom, bridesmaids, groomsmen, went back to the hotel while my family and the planner and the rest, they went to the reception to go and, you know, sort things out there and whatnot. So I mean, I went back to the hotel, we're taking pictures, and you know, everything was fine. Also, I thought. After the wedding, like time for after party, my mom was like, oh, she wanted to go home. It was getting late. After party is mostly for the younger people. The parents usually leave. I'm like, okay, your driver is outside, so just pack the souvenirs that you want to pack for your friends that you're going to give to later and whatnot. Put in the car and he'll take you home. And she was like, you don't know what happened. But I guess she didn't want to like get me worried or stressed. But I remember she said something about something happened, but I didn't really hear her. When the party was done, the after party, when it was done, I went into the car, but this time around my husband's car. So the car that was there for me, I told my brothers to take the car home with. We had a lot of gifts that people had brought. So told them put that in that other car and then let it take you guys home. Drop it in my house and then you can then go home. And they're like, that's when my brother was down like, oh, they didn't want to tell me earlier about that the car that took my parents and himself, because it was my parents, they had an accident. I'm like, what? He was like, it was actually crazy. The guy was driving like a madman and he climbed a pavement and they almost had like a terrible accident. Thank God it wasn't like no one was hurt. I'm like, what? He was like, yes, that my mother just kept screaming like, Jesus, Jesus, like, oh my God. Like, if I knew that happened, I wouldn't have allowed the guy to take my mother home. I'm even surprised she entered the same car. I'm very sure that somebody else was in that car with them. That I don't know. Something must have given her that assurance or reassurance to enter that car again. Because if I knew that was what happened, that guy was not going to take my parents home. I had no idea. And I mean, the whole wedding thing, like, I'm like, this guy, you want to kill my parents on my wedding day? Like, are you crazy? It's not enough that my daddy woke me up there because you guys are just acting on God knows what. The one that drove me didn't seem to know how to use Google Maps because he just looked confused as hell. Like, dude, it's really not that hard. Use Google Maps. Besides, Ikoyi to Lekki phase 1, it's really not that far, So, what's going on? You're working for a car hire service, but you don't really know roads, even the ones that are around. That was very weird, but I didn't really think too much of it. Again, when you're on wedding day, there's already so much going on. Some things happen and you don't process it immediately. So I didn't think too much of it. So when my brothers were going home, I was like, oh, this other guy is the one who drove me. At least I know I didn't have an accident, right? So yeah, let him take you guys home with the gifts and whatnot. You guys will not believe that this guy, just the same way he was confused when he was taking me from Ikoyi to Lekki phase 1, he was confused taking my brothers home. It's within Lekki. While my husband and I were just trying to settle into a hotel that night, we had to be the ones calling the driver and giving him directions on how to take them home. Dude, don't you have a Google map? And my brothers, they are not very familiar with the area because he was taking them to my house, right? Not the house, like not their house. So they were coming to drop the gifts in my house before going to their house. I even told them they could actually crash in my house, but they didn't. This guy just kept turning around in circles. You will use the map and tell him, I think you're supposed to turn right, you're supposed to turn left. He will turn the other way. It was actually madness. My husband had to literally direct them. At some point, he left the hotel, right? I started driving towards, because we stayed in the hotel at Ikoyi that night. He had to leave the hotel. I started driving towards the house just to be sure, right, that he's not just taking them somewhere else. Like, he was actually crazy. He was just crazy. Thank God they finally got home. Immediately they got to my house. They dropped the gifts. This boy just took Ubers home straight up. They just took Ubers. I'm like, They're like, they are not letting this guy take them back to the mainland. No way. They just booked an Uber and went back home, and that was it. Basically, the car hire service was shit. Not only did they not track which car is available and which car is not available when you're booking, they just, I don't know, they just, you can book, and then they have shitty drivers. They don't know how to use Uber Map, Google Maps. They don't know how to drive well. They climb pavements. And then with all this shit put together, there is no customer service, no good customer service. Quite frankly, I don't know, y'all. Unfortunately, this video is not over. No, it's not, because there's one more vendor, and I don't want to make this video too long, right? So we're just going to stop here for today. That's the story of how my father couldn't walk me down the aisle and my parents were almost killed on my wedding day. So much drama for one day, guys. So much drama for one day. Anyways, like I said, if you're a bride to be, a groom to be, please, you plan, pray, because this vendor is so much straight from hell. Pray, but aside that, you just try to not let things ruin your day. So far as everybody's alive and healthy, just take things as they come and just breathe. Remember, it's your day and people are there for you, so don't, because trust me, 1 or 2 stuff will happen despite all the planning and all the money spent. If you let that break your mood, it can just ruin your day, and your wedding day is just once in a lifetime. Things go well, you know what I mean? So that's it for me today, guys. Do not forget to follow me on Instagram. I drop weekly content on my Instagram. Also, if you're a bride to be, groom to be, you have questions, maybe you just want some feedback on some vendors. I had this bride from Jamaica reach out to me about my wedding dress vendor, and I told her all the tea and everything she needed to know. I will give you whatever advice or feedback you need. So if you need that, just follow me on Instagram and send me a DM. You can also ask in the comment section in this video, and I will respond. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll do a part 3 where I'm going to be talking about the next vendor. Right? Love you guys. Bye.